Making your silo calculations for the geometry of your silo. To start working on your calculations, go to your projects list here on the projects page. Find the project you'd like to work on and click on Edit. Notice that this brings us to a page with three headings right here. So we need to edit these three things for our silo calculations: the geometry, the loads, and the laminate thickness. You can see each section in the headings on the top of this page. First, we're going to build up the geometry of our silo. We're going to work on the silo from the top down, starting with the cover. We need to select a preset cover. If you click on the drop-down, you'll notice quite a few different options here. So there's 5 options, including the option to not have a cover. These covers are according to the standard. Next, we indicate whether or not the silo is ventilated. Basically, this question is there a pipe ventilating the silo into the atmosphere? Yes or no? Our silo is ventilated. And last but not least, we need to select a cover material. Remember, when you put your material into your materials list, this is where you can indicate which material the cover is made from. Excellent. Now we can fill in information about the cylinder. Notice that the length of the cylinder and the diameter is already filled in from when we entered this information earlier during the creation of this project. So all we need to add here is the volume and cylinder material. Next, we will fill in information about the bottom of the silo. Of course, for silos, this is always a hopper bottom. We need to fill in the angle, the knuckle radius, the diameter outlet, and select a bottom material. Please note that you can also fill in 0 if there is no knuckle radius. That is always an option here with Amphora. Next, let's explore the different type of support options. There are a few different options you can choose from here. For example, a skirt on supports, or a fully supported skirt, or a support with ring girder on legs. The information that we need to fill in here depends on the type of support which we select. So, for a fully supported skirt, we'd need to fill in the height above ground level, the length of the skirt, the width of the opening, and the support material. So for the width of the opening, let's say that your silo has a door. We enter some information here. We also need to enter the door portal stiffness. But let's say that our silo doesn't have a door, then we'd put 0 there. The option disappears. And of course, you need to enter the material used for production. That's just one of the options. However, we also have the skirt on supports. We need to fill in the height above ground level. So this would be the height of the support legs. We need to fill in the length of the skirt, the number of support legs, the width of each support leg, and the support material that we're going to be using. And our last option, the support with ring girder on legs. Again, we fill in the height above ground level, the length of the legs, the number of legs, the support width per leg, and the support material. Based on the type of support that we have selected, for example, here we will have a different type of anchoring for us to choose from. So here are all the options that are possible, such as anchoring bracket laminated, anchoring bracket bolted, clamp bracket on ring, bolts through skirt with lever, and bolted to construction. So based on the type of anchoring used, again, we need to enter different information for each of these different options. Let's check out our options here by first looking at the anchoring bracket that is laminated to the skirt. We need to enter the number of anchors, the thickness of the connection laminate or over laminate, and enter the width and the shear surface in order to determine if the connection laminate is strong enough. Another option is an anchoring bracket, but one that is bolted through the skirt. Here, we'd need to enter the number of anchors used, the bolt diameter, and the number of bolts per anchoring bracket. Then we have a clamping bracket. In this case, there would be a small GRP nose on the side of the skirt. you need to enter the number of anchors, the pitch diameter, which is basically the distance from the center to the center of the actual anchor. This is important in determining the anchoring force. Next, enter the length of the bracket. Notice it is indicated here in our handy diagram. The width of the bracket, also indicated here with a W, and the height of the nose, indicated here with our small h. Another option that we can go to here is bolts through the skirt with lever. For this type of anchoring, you would need to fill in the number of anchors, the bolt diameter, the pitch diameter of bolts, the length of the bracket, and the number of bolts per anchor. So first, let's make sure for our tutorial that we have filled in the support that we'd like to use. Then fill in the anchoring information so that we can get to calculating our next step. So for this silo, we're going to use the bolted to construction option. Here, we need to enter the number of anchors used, in this case 4, the bolt diameter, 12, and the number of bolts per anchor, which is going to be 2. So the number of anchors in this case should be equal to the number of support legs. Let's check to make sure we have all the information filled out for our silo. So we have the cover, cylinder, the bottom, the support, and the anchor. You might notice that there's a branches option down here. Might not pop up, but notice that this is only applicable for tanks, not for silos. No need to fill it in if you do see it. Since we've entered all of this information up here, we can click Update to save our project. Now that this has been saved, we are ready to start calculating the loads. You can check out our next tutorial to learn how to calculate the loads for your silo.